Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be learning about the importance of mummies in ancient Egyptian culture. Alright Eagle, alright everyone, let's go learn about this.
Welcome to The Importance of Mummies.
Yes, we're going to learn about why the ancient Egyptians were such mummy boys.
The first hieroglyph for embalmer appeared in pyramid texts of the Old Kingdom. It is likely that embalming was a trade that progressed alongside the evolution of ancient Egyptian funeral practices. While we still know nothing of how embalming came to be a profession, we do know that embalmers had a hierarchy, and that each embalmer specialized in a specific phase of the mummification process.
Man, that's graphic. Wow. So it it originated as a trade. So it originated as like a trade profession that people would probably use maybe as a medicine, as a herbal, as a way of honoring the dead, as a way of honoring your ancestors who just passed away. These are, I think, very likely reasons.
The mummification techniques were jealously guarded by embalmers from generation to generation. Despite their efforts, Herodotus and Diodorus discovered their methods in late antiquity, but historians were skeptical about the validity of the texts. It remained a mystery until two teams of modern medical legal scientists confirmed the process in 1994 and again in 2011.
Wow. So even the Greeks were late at it, not just modern Western civilization at cracking the official code of when the historicity and date of it, but it looks like even the ancient Greeks were a bit late to the party. And I thought when I saw that pottery artifact, I thought it was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs on there, but it's just, I think, like medieval Arabic or something. Or maybe it's modern Arabic, I wouldn't know. It could be Coptic. Can't really tell. Has a tree there. Um, whew. Yeah, they would have ancient Egyptians were very, very advanced. Like they even had temples and a stream of pool and a stream would from the ocean would go down into like a thin kind of like gutter and spread throughout the whole city. They were great agriculturalists and very, very advanced technicians.
The Uabet, meaning the pure place, was where the embalmers mummified the bodies of the deceased.
Wow.
Until the end of the Middle Kingdom, it was located in tents at the edges of the city due to the smell of decomposition. In the New Kingdom, however, the Uabet was located within the city limits, though still in open-air spaces. In the same way that the practices and techniques of mummification evolved, so possibly did consideration towards embalmers within ancient Egyptian society.
Well, that's the thing I think with a lot of these ancient cultures, that it wasn't just all at once. It was a gradual process of different factors, societal, religious, foreign. It was a whole load of different factors that played into the what would later be mummification. And the Eye of Horus, that's used in so many Illuminati videos. I remember so many people saying, "Oh, that's the Eye of Lucifer," or "That's the Eye of the Illuminati hierarchy." It's it's crazy. The Eye of Horus, you're featured a lot in conspiracy theory videos. Oh, look at that! And these are like little deity idols looking on, or they're mummification idols. But I wonder if they were turned into deity idols later on. They were worshipped. And here is the embalmer disc. Man, they were, even back then, they had it down with the hospital stuff.
The pharaoh had access to the most elaborate of mummification rituals.
Of course.
The richer citizens of Egypt also enjoyed complex embalming options, though none of them allowed for the removal of the brain or viscera. After purifying the body, embalmers injected a liquid through the rectum, sealed it, and allowed the mixture to settle. They then plunged the body into natron for up to 40 days. Once the body was dried, the seal was removed, and the entrails flowed out with the injected liquid, leaving the skin and bones of the deceased to be wrapped in linen and returned to the family for burial.
Well, I mean, that's not too brutal. They could have been nicer. Of course, there's the caste system. Even in Egypt, it was actually called Kemet, I think, back then. But even in ancient Kemet, or Egypt, whichever you prefer, a type of caste system existed. I think it existed throughout all of humanity, actually. It's only recently, with the advent of modern Western civilization, that the caste system worldwide, whether in tribes, indigenous, culture, Eastern or Western, has been abolished. So I'm glad about that. We are all equal. What's this caste system bullcrap?
The least costly embalming option was for the embalmers to simply inject a product called surmaya and immerse the body in the natron for up to 40 days before handing it over to the family. For all those who could not afford any embalming process, desert burials offered a pauper's alternative to preserve the bodies of the dead.
Wow. Oh, go look at that guy. It's crazy. I mean, you can make. A lot of people will probably make fun of the way he's positioned and all that, but it's crazy the amount of actual thought that went into these things. They weren't silly.
Egyptian civilization has always appealed to Westerners, even before the Greek and Roman invasions.
True.
As early as the Middle Ages, mummies discovered by travelers were often sent back to Europe. Curio cabinets, dating from the 16th and 17th centuries, usually included pharaonic artifacts in their collections.
I wouldn't just say, yeah, Westerners have always been fascinated by Egyptian civilization, but I wouldn't just say it's Westerners. It's a whole group, like the whole world has been fascinated by Egyptian civilization. They are the cornerstone of a lot of things, of the human migration, of the prehistoric human migration, and not only that, but they have two seas, the Red Sea, which connects them to the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea, which of course connects them to the Atlantic Ocean and the Med. So they've got so many, they got a sea there, they got the Nile, it was like destined to succeed.
The Egyptomania phenomenon was heralded by Napoleon Bonaparte's Egyptian campaign, which lasted from 1798 to 1802. The following years were marked by a resurgence of interest from rich enthusiasts and scholars who exposed Egypt to the general populace. Many research societies focusing on Egyptology were founded during those years.
Nice, yeah, good old Napoleon. That's a nice view. I really like that view. Imagine just having an hour video of just this. That would be nice.
By 1868, mass tourism began in Egypt under the aegis of the Cook Agency. The rich would indulge in leisure trips to Egypt and bring back mummies. Upon their return, they would organize evenings that consisted of unpacking mummies and removing strips of linen and amulets layer by layer. These were considered the shining cultural events of the season. The Egyptian collections of many a museum were founded as a consequence of this mass pillaging.
Well, that's another thing about when the Western colonial period. This wasn't just in Africa, of course. It was throughout the world. It was in Asia, the Americas, but yeah, especially in Africa, which includes Egypt. They've done a lot of pillaging. It's sad. Thankfully, greed didn't prevail, and Egyptian civilization is still a shining light. Well, the memory of it is. I'll talk about now.
Thanks to those dubious parties, the fantasy of a mummy coming back to life, seeking revenge on its defilers, was born. The mummy malediction myth has remained steady in popular culture ever since, particularly in written media and cinema.
Alright, guys, that was the importance of mummies. Let's do another one. We'll do one more. We'll do the origin of the pyramid.
Welcome to The Origin of the Pyramid. The origin of the word pyramid is controversial. Most believe that it originates with the Greek word pyramis, which referred to a bread of conical shape. Life and death in ancient Egypt were modeled on the cycle of the sun. The perfect shape of the smooth-faced pyramid became associated with the metaphor of the pharaoh transformed into one of the sun's rays in death. Pyramids represented the Benben, the primordial mound of the Heliopolitan creation myth. These stories permeated every aspect of Egyptian life to a greater or lesser extent.
Wow, that's... So, yeah, I've heard that before actually, that the origin of the name pyramids comes from the Greek, Koine Greek even maybe. But yeah, the rest I didn't know. Let's keep learning.
During the pre-dynastic period, the development of funerary practices was different, depending on whether one was located in Lower Egypt or Upper Egypt. Well before the pyramid, there was the burial pits. It is on the site of Merimde Beni Salome in Lower Egypt that we find the oldest funerary site, dating back to 5000 BCE. Study of the tombs revealed that the bodies of the deceased were deposited in a shallow grave, in a fetal position. Though a few objects were recovered from these graves, they offered no insight as to the social class of those interred within.
Well, I guess this one, this one good thing about the caste system is that when you're dead, the caste system doesn't exist. Doesn't care. Death doesn't care what you are, what position you make. You are who you are after you die. That is just so crazy, so amazing, so much rich history.
In Upper Egypt, pre-dynastic practices are easier to study, but reveal more complex funerary rites. They are divided into two cultural phases, Badarian and Nagata. The Badarian phase ranged from 4400 BCE to 3800 BCE. Small necropolises were discovered on the outskirts of villages, revealing the emergence of a funerary cult. The bodies of the deceased were lowered into an oval grave and covered with goat or gazelle skins. Items needed in everyday life were added alongside the body.
Oh yes, the Neolithic period. Well, civilization was a lot to the pre um, pre-settled Neolithic period because even in the Neolithic period of Egypt, Egypt was still like really advanced. So was Maghreb, I think that's how you say it in Pakistan, Indus Valley, Sumor. Even before there was like real like obvious civilization there, these Neolithic phases in these areas in these histories, it was amazing. Just then they were already advancing more than other ports. Makes you wonder.
During the three Nagata periods ranging from 4000 BCE to 3510 BCE, funerary practices evolved in complexity. The shape of tombs changed from oval to rectangular, mimicking the homes of the living. The size of the burials increased and funerary items became more stylized and numerous. Tombs gained complexity, with masonry, wooden veneers, or raw bricks added to strengthen the structures. In time, socially stratified necropolises emerged. For example, in Hyrcanopolis, the elite and commoners had separate necropolises.
And that's another thing as well, is that the these pyramid type things would have also evolved as well from just basic societal functions like the shape of tombs, or from tombs it would have gotten bigger. And then of course, like this, for a really powerful person with a lot of slaves or labor workers over thousands of years to signify how important he is, especially in a settled society where that's possible, um, it eventually evolves into a shape like this to signify the important king. So
The term mastaba, meaning massive bench in dialectal Arabic, refers to a form of funerary architecture that was present in Egypt from the Archaic period to the Middle Kingdom. An evolution of the burial pit, mastabas were generally composed of two parts. A structure was built above the ground in the form of a massive rectangle with stepped walls, and a subterranean burial chamber was located underneath. Smaller mastabas often surrounded the much larger tomb of the king. These generally held the remains of the king's relatives and courtiers.
So, but it goes back into what I was saying before. For the leader and the king, it would evolve into simple societal funerary practices like little bricks of rock, which is common throughout even the pre-Neolithic era, to like this big thing over many years to take place, just to signify how great a king was, just because the king had the ability to do so. Humans, though, are amazing.
The arrangement of the substructure of the mastaba evolved during the course of the Old Kingdom. From the 5th dynasty onwards, mastabas often featured multi-roomed substructures, with sometimes up to 30 rooms. Also, the quantity and quality of decorated surfaces increased noticeably, as well as the number of statues found within.
Wow. Take a look. That's a remastered model of it. Well, not completely remastered. I think it's minimized. But yeah. Wow.
The 6th dynasty would see art used to its utmost. The entire surface of a mastaba would be covered in scenes of daily life, illustrating the prosperity of those lucky enough to comfortably spend eternity near the pyramid of a pharaoh. The best example of this type of mastaba is the tomb of Meroruka in Saqqara.
So I think we learned how the origins of each. Before I go on, look how beautifully they drew back then, the ancient Egyptians. They were very neat drawers, better than many contemporary people now, but they're very, very professional drawers. There are some hieroglyphs there. Um, I remember when on a website where you type in your name, you see what your name is in hieroglyphs and what your name means in hieroglyphic writing. That was pretty cool. But yeah. Ooh. You guys want to see me climb this? I'll just forget about that. Just mark something on my map to take it off. You guys want to see me climb this tomb? I'll do it. I'll climb the tomb. What's here? Hey, what's this? Oh, I can't see anything. Okay. This isn't doing me much good. I can't see anything. Let's see. Now I can. Whoa! Let's just see if I can climb this up. Oh, come on. Hey, let's change characters. Yes. Here we go. There we go. Alright, we're almost at the top. It's a shame that Egyptians lost at the World Cup. Kind of looks like kind of like a Jewish prayer thing at the back of his back. Sort of. Maybe. Here we go, here. What? No, no. There we go, there we go, there we go. He's struggling. Struggle! Snuggles. It's just me being random. Yes, here we go. We're almost there, guys. We should be there by the 25-minute mark. I reckon we'll make it by the 25-minute mark. Let's see, maybe not. Probably not. Oh well. Close enough to it if we don't. I don't think so though. So, yeah. Close enough to it though. There we go. Oh, I can see the moon. Or the sun, rather. Man, that's a nice realistic sky. What a... Now let's slide down. It's... Alright guys, well... Thank you for watching my video and see ya next time.